action, carving a path forward even when it's hard.
And kids who still know how to dream. They're the best pathfinders of all.
So at Child Fund, hope means helping millions of children living in poverty worldwide to grow up healthy, educated, skilled, and so all those good things can come true for them, safe.
And that means safe at home, safe at school, and safe online.
Hope means walking this path together, all of us. Because when we work together, we can do so much more.
That's right. Hope includes you.
Child Fund, because we need each other.
To learn how Child Fund works with children in 23 countries to help them achieve their full potential, visit childfund.org. That's childfund.org.
KSL FM Midvale, KSL Salt Lake City. This is KSL News Radio, Utah's news, traffic, and weather station.
Good morning. KSL News time is 5 o'clock. This is Utah's Morning News. I'm Andy Farnsworth.
And I'm Amanda Dixon. KSL's top story this hour.
A Utah lawmaker wants to require people who gather signatures for ballot initiatives in our elections to undergo training before they can start.
The bill cleared its first legislative hurdle just days after some Utahns said they felt they were being misled by signature gatherers. KSL News Radio's Adam Small begins our live team coverage, Eye on the Hill 2026. Adam?
And a committee of lawmakers just gave a unanimous thumbs up to a bill that, if signed into law, would require people who gather signatures in Utah to take a government training course about what they can and cannot do on the job. This bill would also establish some tools that could potentially make it easier and less stressful on both the gatherer and the person signing on to an initiative. That includes allowing people to scan a QR code to read more about the proposal they're signing for, rather than just reading a hard copy. It would also set up a text alert system so people can get notified and updated if they've signed on to something. Now, this comes just about a week after we received reports from several Utahns that they felt they were being misled about one particular proposal that signature gatherers are trying to get signatures for right now, while the people behind that proposal say those people should be reading from a script. Lawmakers hope that this bill could potentially cut down on those concerns and problems. It still has a few hurdles to clear before it is signed into law. We'll keep you updated as it progresses on Capitol Hill. Live, Adam Small, KSL News Radio.
A bill that would raise property taxes for landlords has brought concerns from both renters and property owners. KSL News Radio's Brianna Willis continues our live team coverage, Eye on the Hill 2026. Brianna?
Andy, a bill sponsored by Senator Dan McKay would remove tax exemptions for landlords who own multiple rental properties. He says as the number of rentals goes up in the state, it doesn't make sense to keep allowing the exemption, and it could incentivize further building of rental properties instead of homes. However, renters and landlords tell KSL this would raise rental costs through the state at a time where everyone is struggling with housing affordability, some pointing out property owners may even shift to short-term rentals. The bill has narrowly passed out of the Senate committee. Live, Brianna Willis, KSL News Radio.
KSL's top national stories this hour. President Trump is doubling down on his call for the federal government to take a bigger role in elections. ABC's Nicole D'Antonio has more.
Early yesterday, allies of the president claimed he was referring to the SAVE Act, a proposal that would require Americans to provide proof of citizenship when registering to vote. But later in the day, Trump making his view clear.
The state is an agent for the federal government in elections. I don't know why the federal government doesn't do them anyway.
The Constitution gives states the power to run elections, not the federal government.
The president says more federal oversight is necessary because he believes some states are crooked, and he worries about non-citizens voting.
Local election officials are reacting to President Trump's recent comments about nationalizing future elections, saying this goes contrary to the Constitution. KSL News Radio's Reagan Edelman reports.
More specifically, this would challenge Article 1, Section 4, which discusses time, place, and manner of elections being determined by the states. Salt Lake County Clerk Lanny Chapman says that power belonging to the state is something that's been around since the inception of the country for a reason.
I will always say the way we do elections here in the state of Utah, it is the gold standard. But what works best for us is not necessarily going to work well for other territories and states.
There aren't any moves or bills to nationalize elections on the table right now, but Chapman says if something like that were to happen, she would feel concerned for the rights of the state and of Utah citizens. Reagan Edelman, KSL News Radio.
ICE agents in Minneapolis will now be required to wear body cams. ABC's Matt Rivers has more.
The Department of Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem, she posted on X basically saying that effective immediately, all federal officers here in Minneapolis will be using and instructed to use body-worn cameras. But, she goes on to say that then as funding becomes available, it will be expanded nationwide.
Two brothers of a woman killed by ICE agents earlier last month testified on Capitol Hill, saying Renee Good's death was violent and unnecessary.
A group of protesters showed up at the Salt Lake City Council meeting, asking for city officials to take action.
I'm here to ask you to create ordinances to preemptively combat the lawlessness we are seeing in other cities. Specifically, I'm asking you to create a separation ordinance for the police.
Marina Price and others said they would keep showing up until the city acts to keep ICE out.
First look traffic now in the 5 o'clock hour, and here's Cormac Bone.
It's a calm drive this early in the morning. You got no problem from Brigham City to Santaquin on I-15. Even construction delays not really there in Lake Point or on Pioneer Crossing in Lehigh. I'm Cormac Bone in the KSL Traffic Center.
This morning, a motorcyclist is in the hospital in critical condition after being involved in a crash at the intersection of 6400 South and Highland Drive. Police tell us the driver of the other vehicle is cooperating with the investigation, but so far, police are not sure how last evening's crash happened and who's at fault. Police say there were no signs of impairment by either drivers.
A new master plan for Salt Lake City's northwest side will focus on making the area more desirable to live, work, and play. KSL News Radio's Tammy Kikuchi has more.
People on the west side of the city say their area has been underserved and they welcome the new Northwest Community Plan. The goal is to bring in more businesses and allow mixed-use housing. Daniel Strong with the Westside Coalition credits city planning for engaging the community in the planning process and says there should be a focus on housing for all levels of income, which means getting away from studio and one-bedroom apartments, which don't appeal to families.
We want there to be, the same amenities you see throughout the rest of the city for those people who live here, and also for hopefully more new neighbors who want to move here.
This is for neighborhoods like Rose Park, Jordan Meadows, and Fair Park. The draft plan was tabled to allow more time for input. It's also not clear when it should go before the City Council. Tammy Kikuchi, KSL News Radio.
The Utah Jazz made a big move ahead of the trade deadline, bringing in a multiple-year All-Star in exchange for players and draft picks. KSL Sports' Jeremiah Jensen breaks down the details that brought in Jaren Jackson Jr.
Jackson is a two-time All-Star, a two-time blocks champion. He's been named All-NBA Defense 3 times and was the NBA Defensive Player of the Year in 2023. At 6'10", he averages 19 points, 5 rebounds while shooting 35% from 3. And he's still young despite being in his 8th NBA season. Just 26 years old. He fits this team perfectly. Here are the details of the trade. The Jazz get Jackson Jr., Jock Landale, John Conchar, and Vince Williams Jr. The Jazz send Walter Clayton Jr., Taylor Hendricks, Kyle Anderson, and George Niang, plus 3 draft picks, the most favorable of 3 2027 first-round picks, the Lakers' first-round pick in 2027, and the Phoenix Suns pick in 2031.
Of all of those, Walter Clayton Jr., the draft pick they got this year, that's the one that I hate to see go the most.
Yeah, because he was just starting to come on.
Yeah, and I just feel like he had that big game ability. But hey.
But man, what an exciting player to get.
This is going to be, when Walker Kessler's back, that's what I was reading. Most of the analysis is him and Walker Kessler are going to make the Jazz very tough to score inside on.
We have BYU men's basketball on our air tonight. The Cougars are on the road looking to snap a 2-game losing streak. They'll be facing Oklahoma State. The Cougars and Cowboys tip at 7. Our pregame begins at 6.
The Utah Utes are home tonight hosting the Arizona State Sun Devils. Utah State on the road at New Mexico.
Looks pretty quiet out there, Andy.
It does. The overnight road work that they're supposed to be doing between Kaysville, Farmington, that looks like it's all wrapped up in Davis County. We'll get a full check of traffic coming up next.
Sign up for KSL Text Alerts. Get breaking news and traffic updates by texting the word news to 57500. Want access to exclusive contests? Text contest to 57500. Jazz fans, text the word jazz for breaking jazz updates. And Cougar fans, text BYU to 57500 for the latest on the Cougars. Message and data rates may apply.
This message comes from Viking, committed to exploring the world in comfort. Journey through the heart of Europe on an elegant Viking longship with thoughtful service, destination-focused dining, and cultural enrichment on board and on shore. With small ships that bring travelers closer to the destination, there's more time to explore. And every Viking voyage is all-inclusive, with no children and no casinos. Discover more at Viking.com.
Welcome back to Winter Hack Radio, the place for clever hacks to survive the season. Icy driveway? Well, try spreading sand or birdseed to help with traction. Snowy puppy paws? Well, grab a whisk, brush it off, done. Catch COVID-19? Well, just get...
Actually, there's no hack for COVID-19. But if you test positive, prescription medications for COVID exist. Ask your doctor if they're right for you. Visit PfizerForAll.com to learn more. Sponsored by Pfizer.
5:09, traffic and weather together, brought to you by UCCU. Transfer savings, earn more. UCCU, love where you bank. And back to you, Cormac.
Well, I may have spoke a little too soon. We got some light delays starting up northbound SR 36 in Lake Point. It's barely there just yet, so not too terrible as of right now. I-15, you're not going to see any issues through Utah County or Salt Lake County. Should be a good drive. And on the 215, no problems no matter where you drive across the Salt Lake Valley. Andy.
Well, traffic in Davis County, again, supposed to be down to one lane overnight in that stretch, Kaysville to Farmington, because of the road work they're doing. But it does appear that everything's open if they did do the lane restriction last night. So there's no slowing between Ogden and downtown. A little bit heavy Highway 89 as you exit off the freeway I-84 to then go north up into the South Ogden area. No slowdowns yet this morning through Parley's Canyon. Elevate your dining at the Roof, now serving lunch and dinner. Enjoy city views and cozy favorites like signature steak, pork, or salmon entrees. Visit theroofslc.com.
I've got you down for another mild one today. Temperatures top around 55, mostly sunny skies. Overnight, 33. We bounce back to 56 tomorrow, sunshine. High pressure allows for a couple of clouds on Friday, partly cloudy, 57. From the KSL Weather Center, I'm Matt Johnson.
And right now, downtown, it's 30 degrees. Coming up in a moment, we're going to go to our sister station, KTAR, and speak with a reporter there, Heidi Hommel, who is in Tucson, about the latest on the search for Savannah Guthrie's mother. There are some ransom notes that have come out. They don't know if they're legit, if they are real, or whether there's some kind of hoax. But we'll get the latest when we talk to her coming up.
Streaming live at KSLNewsRadio.com and on the app for KSL News Radio. We're Utah's news, traffic, and weather station.
The Management Minute is a service of the MBA program at Utah State University. I'm Professor Scott Hammond. Recently, I checked into a hotel and found that the internet wasn't working in my room. I called the front desk, who gave me a number for the tech support guy. After 20 minutes of being on hold and 10 minutes of providing numbers, 10 minutes of troubleshooting, I just hung up. Why was I doing the hotel's job for them? It's not my job to solve their network problem. That's happening everywhere. To pay for parking, I need to download yet another parking app, type in a credit card number, type in the addresses and the license plate number, type in a verification code. I liked it better when I just handed the attendant some money. Or the restaurant where I stand in line, get my food, order on a computer, pick up my food, and the only time I ever talk to a server is when they're taking my money and asking for a tip. Technology is good, but it cannot replace service. Real service is something that happens only between people. Learn more about real service in an MBA from Utah State. Go to utahstatemba.com. I'm Scott Hammond. Hope to see you in one of our classes.
Hi, I'm Utah tax attorney Jordan Wilcox. When the IRS invades your life, it's never good news. Keep in mind, it's not just you.
I owed roughly $34,000.
$61,000. When the IRS first contacted me, I was horrified.
When they start hounding you and harassing you and assaulting you.
Don't face the IRS alone. With everything in your life at stake, don't trust just anyone.
From what I got told was being done in a matter of 2 years, he had done in a matter of like 48 hours.
It's a great thing to have the IRS off your back.
We have reduced our tax liability by over $42,000.
Once I signed on with Jordan, I never talked to the IRS again.
It changed our lives.
You need someone to fight for you. Visit endtaxworry.com and get relief today. Let's solve your tax problems now. Visit endtaxworry.com. That's endtaxworry.com.
Thursday on KSL.
On the face of it, it's a harmless prank.
Doorbell ditching, a game that generations of children played, has taken a frightening turn.
All you could see was a hoodie and a mask.
The KSL investigators set out to understand why a once silly prank
It looked like a handgun. He just firing it at us.
seems to be more dangerous today.
You don't know whose door you're going to go knock on or pound on.
Ding Dong Danger, Thursday at 10.
My name is Tom.
My name is Cindy.
We give to and volunteer with United Way at our community free health clinic.
We know our time and money are going to the right places.
We don't just wear the shirt.
We live it.
Give, advocate, volunteer, Live United. Go to liveunited.org. Brought to you by United Way and the Ad Council.
KSL News Time, 5:14. The three things you need to know this hour. First,
one state election official is reacting to President Trump's recent comments about nationalizing future elections, saying it would oppose the Constitution. I'm KSL News Radio's Reagan Edelman.
Second, a Utah lawmaker wants to require people who gather signatures for ballot initiatives in our elections to undergo training before they can start.
Third, traffic and weather together.
It's a calm drive this morning. Some light construction delays in Lake Point, but otherwise you shouldn't run into any slowdowns all across the Wasatch Front. I'm Cormac Bone in the KSL Traffic Center.
Border-like spring-like conditions through the weekend. I'm Matt Johnson.
And right now it's 30 degrees at the KSL Common Spirit Health Studios.
KSL's top national stories.
From ABC News, I'm Sherry Preston. He first mentioned it on a podcast. Now President Trump is doubling down on the idea of Republicans nationalizing elections.
The federal government should get involved.
The Constitution gives states the power to run elections, not the federal government. The Trump administration is trying to make several changes ahead of this November's midterm elections, including mid-decade redistricting to gain more House seats and pressing at least 24 states to turn over their voter registration data.
ABC's Nicole D'Antonio. Local officials in Fulton County, Georgia, are still pressing for answers as to why their voting records were seized by FBI agents. County Commissioner Marvin Arrington, one of those whose name is on a new lawsuit.
We've had 17 elections since the presidential election in 2020. If they believe that Fulton County is a hotbed of fraud, why are they only looking at the 2020 election?
Sentencing day today for the man accused of trying to shoot President Trump at his Florida golf course in 2024. Federal government back open after being partially shut down. Democrats have 2 weeks to get Republicans to agree on changes to the Department of Homeland Security's ICE operations. The NFL's chief of security says she has been assured there will be no ICE operations at the Super Bowl this weekend or during the Bad Bunny halftime show. You're listening to ABC News.
Let's go in depth now on Utah's morning news. The search for 84-year-old Nancy Guthrie continues. Police are now investigating if alleged ransom notes are real.
KTAR reporter Heidi Hommel joins us live from Tucson. What about these ransom notes, Heidi?
Good morning. Yeah, these ransom notes were the latest development yesterday. So a local news station in Tucson, KOLD Tucson 13, they received a ransom note a couple days ago, decided not to report on it, delivered it to the Pima County Sheriff's Office, and the Pima County Sheriff's Office then asked them to not report on it. Yesterday, TMZ also received a ransom note, and these ransom notes are asking for an unspecified amount of Bitcoin, reportedly in the millions. They have a deadline, and they have details that only Nancy's abductor would know about the condition of the house. Also a new development from yesterday, what appears to be blood could be seen splattered outside the front door of the home. No, we have not confirmed that it's blood. Pima County Sheriff Chris Yanos will not say that there was blood found in the home, but they did send some DNA samples to the crime lab to be processed, and we're still waiting on the results of those tests.
Heidi, about the ransom notes, were both the notes, the one passed to the one reporter and the one to TMZ, were for the same amounts? Do the police believe those are both from the same group or individual?
We do not know. They cannot verify the credibility of these notes. We do not know that they are identical notes. We do not know that they came from the same person, but the Sheriff's Department is taking it very seriously, and they're looking into it.
Is there any camera evidence from anywhere in that neighborhood?
That's the other odd thing that we're working to confirm. So Ring doorbells, home surveillance systems, very popular these days. It appears that Nancy had one outside her front door. It's been removed. We don't know if law enforcement removed it or if her potential abductors removed it. The Pima County Sheriff's Office did tell us that they are working with the manufacturers of Nancy's home surveillance cameras to get that footage. They've also asked other homes in the neighborhood, even, these are big houses on large lots, very spread out. They said, go through your home cameras, see if you see anything, let us know if you have any information. They're still asking the public for help, for information.
Heidi, what do we expect today to hear from authorities or anything?
So there's actually not going to be an update today. I'm in Tucson right now. There's going to be a vigil tonight at the church that Nancy went to. And that's when she was reported missing. When she did not show up to church this Sunday, her friends were like, that's very unlike her, called the family. Family couldn't locate her, and they reported her missing. The next update we're going to get from law enforcement is going to be Thursday at 11. Unless something breaks in this case, they'll update us right away. But I plan to be at that Thursday update as well.
Do you happen to know, is Savannah Guthrie there in Arizona?
She is. She's here in Tucson, and I fully expect her to be at the vigil tonight. I do not have that confirmed, but it is her mother. I assume the family's going to be there. And I was talking to some of the neighbors around her house yesterday, and they're just, everyone's shook up by this. It's such bizarre, odd circumstances. The question everyone wants to answer, who would steal a little old lady? Who would abduct this woman?
All right, thank you. That's KTAR reporter Heidi Hommel joining us live from Tucson on the In-Depth at 15 and 45.
5:19 now. Traffic and weather together brought to you by UCCU. Supercharge your savings at uccu.com. And back to you, Cormac.
Still a pretty calm drive. You got some light construction delays northbound SR 36 in Lake Point as you approach the merge with I-80 and Bangor Highway. Seeing its normal southbound delays around the 201 freeway and Parkway Boulevard, but otherwise I-15 remains a problem-free drive from Provo into downtown. Andy.
Southbound 15 has been really solid so far this morning, leaving Ogden, heading south. You haven't really had any delays around the gates to Hill Air Force Base early this morning. Pretty quiet on West Davis Corridor, Legacy Parkway, and Foothill going up the east side of Salt Lake City. Traffic quiet all the way up till you get up to the university, and only a 15-minute drive through the canyon on I-80 to Park City. Use Superior Water and Air for all your HVAC and water treatment needs. Call 974-9090 or visit superiorwaterandair.com. Superior Water and Air, we got this.
KSL 7-day forecast, quiet as ever to start. 55 today, mostly sunny skies, way above the normal tomorrow. 56, high pressure right over Utah, sunshine. Partly cloudy on Friday, 57. More mid-50s into Saturday and Sunday. Then clouds move in on Monday, 52, mostly cloudy, and a slight chance for a shower. Better chances for rain Tuesday and Wednesday next week with highs in the 40s. From the KSL Weather Center, I'm Matt Johnson.
And right now it's 30 degrees downtown, and the 7-day forecast brought to you by Performance Automotive Bountiful. So what did you think when you first heard about the trade last night, Andy?
Well, I first heard about it. Somebody told me some incorrect info, and I heard they traded Larry Markkinen. So I was like, what? Oh, wow.
No.
And then when I went to read it, I was like, oh, okay, no, that's a lot better. But then I was kind of sad to see Walter Clay. I really did like what he brought to the Jet.
Especially
I'm no
in the
expert,
last month.
but I enjoyed the energy he brought, confidence. I remember watching him take Florida to the championship last year.
Yeah.
So, I like him. I don't mind Taylor Hendricks, but he was injured last year, so I didn't really get to see him play a lot. But
yeah, right.
I just got to trust in Jazz management, whether that's a good or bad thing. That's where I am.
And Jensen just seems like such a strong player.
Yeah, so I did know he was good. And my first thought about him was I know he's a really good three-point shooter for a big man, too. So in today's NBA where you got to space the floor a lot, knowing that we've got a guy who could play center that can hit the three.
He's, 6'10"? He's taller than Ace Bailey.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. But I forgot that he was Defensive Player of the Year one year.
Yeah.
People were upset that Rudy Gobert didn't get it the year that Jaren Jackson won it. So it's nice to have – we like rim protectors here in Utah.
How soon do you think we'll get to see him play?
Oh, I would guess as soon as possible. I don't think they're shutting him down. He's not injured as far as I know.
Good.
But we're not going to get to see the full, what the Jazz envision.
Until
probably till next season.
Kessler comes back. Yeah. That's exciting times for sure. We'll keep following it. And we have a BYU basketball on our air tonight here on KSL News Radio.
Higher taxes, soaring inflation, record low interest rates, and the skyrocketing cost of healthcare. The list goes on. Retiring successfully today is a lot more complicated than ever before. Learn how you can tackle the biggest challenges that you'll face in retirement today. Don't miss a special edition of Retirement Solutions Radio. It's this Saturday afternoon at 3 o'clock, right here on KSL, News Radio 1027.
At Trio South Ogden, the best years aren't behind you. They're right here. Discover independent living services that embrace aging as an opportunity to lean in, not step back. To pursue passions, not retire from purpose. Here, life is bright, colorful, and unapologetically fun. Because aging doesn't mean changing who you are. It means having more time to be exactly who you are. Schedule your tour today at triosouthodden.com.
Well, hunting season's over.
Not for me.
Say what?
I'm on huntexpo.com applying for Utah's top 200 big game tags for just $5 each.
Wait, Utah's top 200 tags, $5? Come again?
Yep, it's all part of the Western Hunting and Conservation Expo in Salt Lake City, February 12th through the 15th. Wow, look at this, nearly 600 guides, outfitters, and exhibitors.
So we could book a hunt while we're there.
Exactly. Plus big auctions, big banquets, there's live entertainment, even free seminars from top hunting pros.
Oh, I see. And we can get discount admission at Sportsman's Warehouse, Les Schwab Tires,
Bass Pro Cabela's,
and Utah Toyota dealers.
Yeah, hunting opportunities are endless at the Hunting Expo.
All right, huntexpo.com. I'll get the tickets.
Yeah, okay.
Apply for the $5 tags and book a hotel room. Oh, yeah, we could sign up for all kinds of seminars.
Your hunt starts at the Western Hunting and Conservation Expo and huntexpo.com.
It all comes down to this, folks.
Yep, the entire season is on the line. But my throat has officially thrown in the towel.
Sounds like you need Vicks VapoCool drops. They're max strength and vaporize sore throat pain.
Whoa! These VapoCool drops hit fast.
Speaking of fast, did you just see that play?
Yeah, he vaporized that ball.
That pun should have come with a penalty.
Vaporize sore throat pain with Vicks VapoCool drops. Use as directed.
This is the story of the one. As an HVAC technician, he and his digital multimeter are in high demand. So when a noisy office HVAC turns out to be a failing blower motor, he doesn't break a sweat. With Grainger's easy-to-use website and product information, he selects the product he needs to keep everything humming right along. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Watching Utah's Money, brought to you by Trajan Wealth, your trusted local fiduciary advisors. TrajanWealth.com. Uber shares are falling. It comes after the company reduced prices for rides. It boosted the number of rides by 22%, but the number of cheap rides didn't make up for the loss.
Americans will start filling out their squares and taking bets on what team will win the Super Bowl. But CNBC reports AI will be a big tool in how people bet. It's also likely to boost the valuations of sports teams and media rights.
So I feel like that's an advantage if you're the only one in your group that's using AI. But if everybody's using AI, because the whole point of
just betting just takes
when
all the
people
fun
take
out of
bets is trying to balance it all out. But if everybody's picking the same thing,
yeah. I was watching a video yesterday that was talking about how much the NFL makes because of sports betting. It's millions and millions of dollars they get just from licensing their data to the various platforms so that you can better analyze your picks. Not to mention all of the advertising. Remember back in the day where they wouldn't even let Las Vegas have a sports team?
I do remember that well.
I mean,
times have changed.
They have.
National publishing company Our Media has purchased 3 Utah magazines. Salt Lake, Utah Bride and Groom, and Utah Style and Design are now owned by the Michigan-based company. Salt Lake Tribune says the magazines combined the magazines reach more than 600,000 readers.
The markets closed down yesterday. Dow was down 166. S&P was down 58. The NASDAQ closed down almost 1.5%, 336. But they're headed in the other direction this morning. The Dow futures up 144. S&P futures up 9. The NASDAQ futures up a fraction, just 7.
You know, one unexpected side benefit of the lack of winter storms is that the conditions of driving have been much better than usual this winter. That's kind of the story we have again this morning. We'll get an update on your commute coming up next.
Big tax changes this year could mean a bigger refund, and Jackson Hewitt knows how to get you your biggest. You'll get $100 just to try us. That won't make you filthy rich, but definitely gas plus groceries rich. And since we know all the new tax codes, you could get thousands back, which would make you low-key loaded. Or at least, Wealthy adjacent? Go with our trusted pros and get $100 to switch. Rest easy. Jackson Hewitt's got your taxes. Guaranteed. Limited time offer for new clients. Participating locations only. Details at jacksonhewitt.com.
Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed?
Can I make my site softer?
Can I make my site firmer?
Can we sleep cooler?
Sleep Number does that. Cools up to 8 times faster and lets you choose your ideal comfort on either side. Your Sleep Number setting. Enjoy personalized comfort for better sleep night after night. And now, during our President's Day sale, take 50% off our limited edition bed. Shop now for a limited time. Only at a Sleep Number store or sleepnumber.com.
529, traffic and weather together, brought to you by UCCU. Transfer savings, earn more. UCCU, love where you bank. And back to you, Cormac.
Still a problem-free drive on I-15 through Utah and Salt Lake counties, both directions. And our construction delays in Lake Point seem to be easing just a little bit. Might be a little more dense right at the merge with I-80, but otherwise a good drive there as well. And on the Mountain View corridor, you might catch a few brake lights through Oker. Andy.
So far, so good on I-80 through Parley's Canyon. No problems or extra travel time, so 15 minutes of a commute. It is filling in a little bit in Davis County on SR 193 at the Hillfield Road intersection coming over from I-15. Those of you who are exiting at 650 North Clearfield, no extra wait time on the exit ramp, but Main Street and 650 North, a little bit busy at that intersection. So far, so good at Roy and 5600 South, and the city streets in Ogden, also pretty quiet early on. Let Zerorez make your carpet new again. Call 866-ZERO-RES or go online to zerorez.com to schedule your appointment today.
Let's get a look at the weather forecast for today. A lot like yesterday, maybe a little warmer. 55 for a high, mostly sunny. 56 tomorrow. 57 Friday, Saturday, and Sunday with a lot of sunshine. But here comes that cold front to start off next week. So we're crossing our fingers for some rain Monday, maybe Tuesday as well. The highs will go from the 50s down into the 40s midweek next week. Right now, let's see where we are. Fair skies and 30 degrees downtown.
You're listening to Utah's Morning News
with Andy Farnsworth and Amanda Dixon
on KSL News Radio, 102.7 FM and 1160 AM.
Good morning. KSL News Time is 5:30. KSL's top story this hour.
A new poll shows an overwhelming majority of Utahns are worried about the economy and how expensive day-to-day necessities are getting.
KSL News Radio's Adam Small begins our live team coverage. Adam?
Andy, the Deseret News and the Hinckley Institute of Politics asked hundreds of Utahns how concerned, if at all, they were with the economy. 85% said they were either somewhat or very concerned. And when they were asked about what specifically about the economy they were worried about, 3 out of 4 either said they were most worried about inflation or the cost of housing, though a few people said they were most worried about not having enough money for retirement. Though interestingly enough, housing was not the number one thing people were most concerned about in terms of inflation. More than half of people said they were most concerned about the cost of groceries and other things they need for their households. The cost of housing was the number 2 concern in terms of inflation. The cost of health care was right behind it. Live Adam Small, KSL News Radio.
Military families in the state are also struggling to afford the necessities. KSL News Radio's Alexandria Bonilla continues our team coverage.
Nonprofit organization Blue Star Families says more than 70% of military families spent the weekend anxious trying to plan out how they would afford basic living with the partial government shutdown. That's over now, but the reality is that these families struggle most of the time. 28% reported struggling with food insecurity, and 30% say they can't afford balanced, healthy meals. Finding a job is also a big worry. Military spouses struggle to find work. 23% deal with unemployment issues. Childcare only adds to the worry, with the price of it keeping those spouses from getting jobs. Alexandria Bonilla, KSL News Radio.
The owners of a local music store say increased tariffs have forced them to close one of their 3 locations.
A tariff that used to cost me $4,000 or $5,000 could now be $40,000.
Riverton music owner Kevin Rindlisbacher says he has never seen prices as high as they were over this past year. He says the tariffs have caused unpredictable pricing from manufacturing to shipping. The rising costs forced them to close their 40-year-old West Jordan location. He says he just hopes the other 2 shops can survive.
KSL's top national stories this hour. The search for Today's Show anchor Savannah Guthrie's mother is intensifying. Police are now trying to determine if some ransom notes that have been found are real. ABC's Lina Moise has more.
Neighbors shaken by the news.
This probably is not it's going to be a good outcome.
Many trying to help search, even stopping other neighbors to ask them to check their security cameras. Nancy Guthrie's home has security cameras, but officials say they haven't been able to access the footage, and the camera attached to the front of the home is missing.
Nancy Guthrie is 84 years old and takes life-saving medication, which she likely has been without since Sunday.
New questions are being asked about Bill Gates' meetings with Jeffrey Epstein following the DOJ's release of the Epstein files. ABC's Hannah Battah has more.
Billionaire philanthropist Melinda French Gates is speaking out after her ex-husband Bill Gates appeared in the newly released Epstein files.
For me, it's personally hard because brings back memories of some very, very painful times in my marriage.
The couple divorced back in 2021. Now Gates addressing the Epstein scandal with NPR's Rachel Martin. While Bill Gates has previously said his meetings with Epstein were a, quote, huge mistake, his mention in the newly released documents are fueling fresh scrutiny over the nature of their association.
Bill Gates says he never went to the Epstein Island and only met Epstein for dinner.
The International Olympic Committee is asking Utah to hold off on planning the 2034 games for now. KSL News Radio's Brianna Willis joins us live to explain. Brianna?
Amanda, IOC Executive Director Christoph Duby says Utah doesn't need to be planning the games so quickly. He says what's important to focus on right now is experience, innovation, and legacy. But now is not the time to get into the weeds on the fine details. Regardless, the IOC seemed happy to hear about what Utah has in the works for now, including a plan to host the families of athletes at the games. Live, Brianna Willis, KSL News Radio.
The opening ceremony to the 2026 Winter Games takes place on Friday, but some of the competitions start today. That includes ice hockey matches, snowboarding competitions, and figure skating, but the first medals won't be handed out until February 7th.
That's always so interesting that some of the competition, because of the nature of how many there are, have to begin before opening ceremonies.
Yeah, things like hockey, you got to give them a certain amount of rest between each game.
We're excited for the opening ceremonies on Friday. First look traffic now, and back to you, Cormac.
Remains a quiet, calm drive on I-15 through Utah and Salt Lake counties, but we do have some light delays starting out eastbound on the 201 freeway through Magna. I'm Cormac Bone in the KSL Traffic Center.
Police departments in Davis County have implemented a program that helps people on the autism spectrum communicate with officers during traffic stops. KSL News Radio's McKenna Rodriguez has more.
It's called the Big Blue Envelope Program, and it allows drivers who have autism to give police officers an envelope during a traffic stop that explains why or how the driver may act when pulled over. The envelope explains that the driver has autism and may go nonverbal or be overwhelmed by sounds or lights. Lieutenant Will Barnes with Centerville Police says officers are trained beforehand on how to approach these situations.
There's some information that the officer can pick up right away that will give them information about the driver and what kinds of sensitivities they have.
All police agencies in Davis County and the Autism Council of Utah offer the blue envelopes for pickup. McKenna Rodriguez, KSL News Radio.
BYU has opted to end its SOAR program because of new federal policies. The program was designed 25 years ago to help prospective multicultural students get support while applying to the school. And that decision has prompted a student-led petition calling on the school to bring the program back. BYU has responded to the petition saying they are committed to supporting students, and university leadership is exploring ways to strengthen student success and college preparedness.
The Utah Board of Education has chosen a company to provide new safety tech to all of Utah's public schools. KSL News Radio's Cameron Elliott has the story.
The Board of Education chose Texas-based Raptor Technologies to provide safety tech to schools across Utah in order to keep up with a number of new safety requirements made by House Bill 84. Among the new tech expected at Utah schools is screening software for visitors, software to plan and execute drills, and special wearable devices that will allow teachers to communicate directly with 911 dispatchers in case of an emergency. Raptor will also provide tech that will allow law enforcement and schools to coordinate during active emergencies, so student and faculty locations and safety can be regularly monitored. Cameron Elliott, KSL News Radio.
Starting to see a little bit more traffic in a few spots in Salt Lake County on mostly city streets, though. We'll get a check of traffic coming up next.
With affordable tuition, personal support, and career services, Salt Lake Community College is empowering students to shape Utah's future.
I'm an occupational therapy practitioner.
I'm an electrical engineer.
And I'm in comms, PR, and marketing.
And I'm a Salt Lake Community College alum.
A better Utah starts with a better education. SLCC provides opportunities to students who become alumni that shape Utah's future. See how we're investing in Utah's future at slcc.edu/community.
Women go through many changes in their lives. And we believe each milestone matters. That every new candle represents another step in your story. Our healthcare experts support women at every stage of life. Because each chapter deserves to be celebrated. Women's health. Nurture what's next. Find care near you at mountain.commonspirit.org. Common Spirit Health. Human kindness lives here.
Hi, this is Derek Overstreet, president of the New Millennium Group and co-host of Stop Working, Start Living with KSL News Radio. Can you imagine what your life would be like if you could retire 3 to 5 years earlier than you thought possible? The things you could do, the loved ones you could spend time with, the memories that you could create. That's what our team at the New Millennium Group does. We'll walk you through the entire process every step of the way. If you'd like to get a copy of the 5-step proprietary plan that will help you retire 3 to 5 years sooner than you thought possible, give us a shout right now. 888-999-6370. That's 888-999-6370 or utahsfinancialplanner.com. Listen, most of our listeners right now have a tax problem, not a money problem. There's not enough money in Social Security Medicare as it is. Let us show you how you can significantly reduce your taxes. That's 888-999-6370, 888-999-6370, or utahsfinancialplanner.com.
539, traffic and weather together, brought to you by UCCU. Supercharge your savings at uccu.com. And back to you, Cormac.
Normal light and spotty slowdowns on Bangerter Highway southbound from California Avenue down into West Valley City. And northbound on Mountain View Corridor, we're starting to see the normal delays starting up at 3500 south. And the construction delays in Lake Point still looking pretty light as of right now. I-15, no issues from Spanish Fork into downtown. Andy.
Well, it's looking pretty smooth as you head out of Ogden, getting on the freeway around 31st Street, and then heading down to Salt Lake City around 600 North. It should take you less than 30 minutes right now. Volumes are still pretty light on I-84, heading off I-15 and going into Weber Canyon. Still only around 15-minute commute between Salt Lake City and Park City through Parley's Canyon. No extra delays or restrictions in Big or Little Cottonwood Canyons this morning to deal with either. Looking for the best Valentine's gift ever? Exclusive Valentine's blankets only available at Minky Couture. Use code KSL50 online and in stores to receive 50% off your purchase. Visit minkycouture.com.
Hey, we're looking at temperatures more typical of early to mid-March. How about a high of 55 today? Mostly sunny skies. High pressure right over the state of Utah tomorrow, putting us into the mid and upper 50s, sunshine. Partly cloudy and 57 by Friday. From the KSL Weather Center, I'm Matt Johnson.
Right now it's 30 degrees downtown. I'm looking forward to our conversation next. Andy, we're going to speak with Jordana Miller live from Jerusalem and get an update on what is happening with the U.S. Negotiations with Iran. We shot down one of their drones.
Yeah, I was reading about that.
Yeah, that as it was approaching the USS Abraham Lincoln, so we shot it down. But what we're still hearing from both the White House and from Iran's president is that some sort of negotiations are still on the table. It hasn't sidetracked that. So we'll ask Jordana, what's the latest coming up next on KSL?
Streaming live at KSLNewsRadio.com and on the app for KSL News Radio. We are Utah's news, traffic, and weather station.
Taxes was waiting on the refund you needed yesterday.
All right, your car repair is going to run about $3,000.
Now Taxes is getting back on the road with TurboTax and Credit Karma, where you can get your refund up to 5 days faster and get personalized guidance to take every dollar further. Now this is Taxes. Intuit Credit Karma with TurboTax. Deposit a federal refund into Credit Karma Money account and early submission of refund data by IRS required. Terms apply. Banking services provided by MVB Bank, Inc. Member FDIC. Credit Karma is not a bank.
Meet Matthew Preston. Inside his apartment, everything he holds dear is protected by Progressive's Renter's Insurance, like his laptop and a surprisingly valuable collection of baseball bobbleheads. Outside his apartment, his laptop is still protected, as are his bobbleheads, which he carries around with him for reasons no one knows. Renters, the limits of protection aren't just the four walls of your home. When you're in Progressive's Protection Zone. Get a quote at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and third-party insurers.
When the new year hits, every business could use a little something to stay ahead. A lift, a jump start, an edge, or perhaps a boost. Like the all-new 5-year business boost from Comcast Business. It's the certainty of a price lock for 5 years on qualifying internet bundles. Plus, you'll have the most reliable Wi-Fi with our best equipment, so your whole team can stay connected at a great rate. And to sweeten the deal, ask about a $500 prepaid card when you add 2 lines of mobile. It's the boost your business deserves. So sign up for the 5-year business boost and get a 5-year price lock on ultra-reliable Wi-Fi. Plus, ask about a $500 prepaid card. Comcast Business, powering possibilities.
Ends 3/22/26. New customers only. 1-year contract required for guaranteed rate. 5-year pricing applies to monthly service charge excluding taxes and fees. Best Wi-Fi based on Open Signal Awards USA Fixed Broadband Experience Report, May 2025.
Put your phone on DND. That means do not disturb when you're driving. And when you're going from point A to B, I need you to stay safe, please, so always sing with me. So put your phone on DND. That means do not disturb when you're driving. And when you're going from point A to B, I need you to stay safe, please, so always remember this beat.
Don't drive distracted. A message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
KSL News Time, 5:44. The 3 things you need to know this hour. First,
landlords and renters are speaking up against a bill that would raise property taxes for owners of multiple rental properties. I'm KSL News Radio's Brianna Willis.
Second, a new poll shows an overwhelming majority of Utahns are worried about the economy, and they worry about how to afford the necessities.
Third, traffic and weather together.
Light delays on Bangerter Highway, both directions approaching the 201 freeway, but I-15, no issues from Ogden to Provo. I'm Cormac Bone in the KSL Traffic Center.
Very mild and quiet conditions with temperatures running 10 to 15 above the normal. I'm Matt Johnson.
And right now it's 30 degrees at the KSL Common Spirit Health Studios.
KSL's top national stories.
ABC News, I'm Sherry Preston. No sign yet of the mother of Today Show host Savannah Guthrie. Police in Arizona think she was kidnapped over the weekend. ABC's Trevor Ault is in Tucson.
Despite hundreds of tips, investigators still have no idea who took her or how many suspects could be involved.
Sheriff, is there any indication so far as to whether this was a random abduction or targeted?
We're looking at all the leads, and we don't know. We're going to assume both sides of that.
Police now have what appear to be ransom notes, including one sent to our ABC News affiliate in Tucson. No word yet on whether those notes are authentic. President Trump repeating his push that elections in the U.S. be nationalized, despite the Constitution putting elections squarely in the hands of the states. The man convicted of trying to assassinate President Trump on a golf course back in 2024 faces sentencing today. Ryan Ruth could get life. Russia and Ukraine meeting in Abu Dhabi for another round of talks. This is ABC News.
Well, let's go in depth now. Negotiations between the U.S. and Iran could begin soon. It comes as the U.S. shoots down an Iranian drone.
We were hoping to be able to connect with Jordana Miller in Jerusalem. I do know Iran's president said Tuesday that he instructed the country's foreign minister to, quote, pursue fair and equitable negotiations with the United States. And that is the first, at least clear sign that Iran wants to try and negotiate these tensions that remain high since the Mideast crackdown.
Well, it sounds like we've got Jordana on with us now. Jordana, then, is this going to put any of the talks that are supposed to come up this weekend in jeopardy?
Well, it doesn't look like it. It looks like that the president and the United States are still interested in talking with Iran, even after Iran carried out what many here call a kind of ballsy and daring kind of test of U.S. military capabilities in the Persian Gulf with that drone that came so close to the USS Lincoln strike carrier. It doesn't look like it's going to derail talks. It does look like there may be a change of venue from Turkey to Oman, and it also looks like perhaps Iran will only talk directly or indirectly with the United States and doesn't want other regional partners at the table. which is another change. It looks like Iran is moving away from any kind of comprehensive deal and wants to focus on just looking at the nuclear issue, and even there, maybe just an intermediary deal, right? Something that would just de-escalate tensions and essentially call off a U.S. strike. I don't know if that's going to be good enough for the United States, but that looks like where Iran is heading. Now, here in Israel, everyone's watching, obviously, the developments very closely, and Steve Witkoff, President Trump's envoy, was here yesterday before he headed off to the United Arab Emirates for those talks on Russia and Ukraine. But he was here for several hours, and he met with every important Israeli defense official, right? So not only the Israeli prime minister, but the head of the Israeli Air Force, the head of Special Forces, the chief of the Israeli Army, the head of Israeli military intelligence, right? And we do understand from leaks here in the Israeli press that the Israelis put a lot of intel on the table about Iran's ballistic missile program, about their efforts to repair and rebuild their nuclear weapons program. And, according to one source here, the Israelis want the Americans and Witkoff to know exactly what the Iranians are doing so they can't try to lie to the U.S. or manipulate or deceive the U.S., right? We're going to have to see how those talks go. The Israelis are not very confident or optimistic, and we saw the Israeli prime minister in the statement he put out yesterday after talking with Witkoff. He warned that, the Iranians, never really follow through with what they promised to do. In other words, don't trust the Iranians. They've never really lived up to their commitments in the past.
So interesting. Jordana, we appreciate you, and we'll stay in touch to find out how this continues. Jordana Miller with us on the In-Depth at 15 and 45. Right now, let's get a look at traffic and weather together, brought to you by UCCU. Transfer savings, earn more. UCCU, love where you bank. And back to you, Cormac.
Roadways all throughout Utah County looking really good. Not even construction delays on Pioneer Crossing as of yet. We do have some delays in Salt Lake County, especially northbound on Mountain View Corridor, approaching 3500 South in West Valley. And Bangerter Highway got the normal delays spotty through West Valley up to California Avenue around the 201 freeway. But on I-15, it should be all clear from Spanish Fork into downtown. Andy.
We haven't seen any slowdowns on I-15 yet between Ogden and Salt Lake City through Davis and the Weber County Drive on the freeway. Starting to slow a little bit approaching the freeway, 5600 South in Roy, seeing some eastbound delay right before 1900 West and those I-15 on-ramps. 12th Street, just the usual intersection waits between Washington Boulevard and I-15. Don't see any big slowdowns on north or southbound Adams or Harrison Boulevard in Ogden. A little bit heavy, though, Highway 89 at the I-84 interchange near the mouth of Weber Canyon. Are you tired of dealing with missing teeth? Are you ready to ditch the dentures? The experts at Stubbs Dental can change your life with dental implants. Get started at StubbsDental.com today.
KSL 7-day forecast has a string of mid and upper 50s all the way through the weekend. 55 today, mostly sunny. Tomorrow, 56, sunshine. Partly cloudy, 57 on Friday. Saturday, 56, mostly sunny. We are at 57 degrees on Super Bowl Sunday. Plenty of sunshine. Changes start moving in on Monday, mostly cloudy, 30% chance for showers. 52 the high. We're down to 46 with more rain chances as we head into Tuesday. From the KSL Weather Center, I'm Matt Johnson.
And right now it's 30 degrees downtown, and the 7-day forecast brought to you by Performance Automotive Bountiful.
Tim Jr. here from RGS Exteriors. Did you know that we offer 3 distinct styles of gutter protection? Each one meant to handle a specific leaf problem. You might not even know there are different styles of gutter protection, but there are. And if you pick the wrong one, it could be a huge waste of money. Now, the big gutter guard companies won't tell you this. They try to sell you a one-size-fits-all gutter guard. And it could be completely wrong for the amount and types of trees and leaves you have. Not RGS Exteriors. We understand which kind of leaf problem needs which kind of gutter guard. We'll do an in-depth evaluation to assess the types, locations, and numbers of trees in your yard. Based on that data, we match your home to the right gutter guard. So don't risk wasting money on the wrong gutter protection. For a free evaluation and estimate, call RGS Exteriors at 801-280-3110 or visit rgsexteriors.com. That's 801-280-3110 or rgsexteriors.com.
Any Hour Services can help you make sure your furnace keeps you warm this winter. Whether you need a tune-up, a repair, or a second opinion about replacing it, call Any Hour Services or visit anyhourservices.com.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Ready to get rid of that old car? Donate it to Cars for Kids. Call 1-877-CARS-FOR-KIDS to reach a friendly live agent. Donation's super easy, and your car can be picked up as soon as tomorrow. Call us now, 1-877-CARS-FOR-KIDS. That's Cars with a K to donate your car today.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Did you know you can donate real estate too? Go to carsforkids.org. That's carsforkids.org.
Trying to make sense of the markets? Looking to diversify out of all the craziness? Thinking about tangible assets like precious metals? Listen to The Gold Show with Kenny Michaels right here on KSL at 3 p.m. Sunday afternoons. Stay up to date on retirement trends, how the IRA rollover process works, and why investors are turning to physical gold. Kenny is a national talk show host with decades of experience in the markets. Tune in for Kenny's Insights and The Gold Show this Sunday afternoon at 3.
Watching Utah's Money, brought to you by Trajan Wealth, your trusted local fiduciary advisors. TrajanWealth.com. Amazon's physical stores are doing extremely well. Revenue has gone up 5.4% in the last year, increasing to $5.9 billion. Amazon owns Whole Foods, Amazon Fresh, and Amazon Go.
Walmart is the first retailer to reach $1 trillion in market value. Reuters reports the news had shares spike 26%. The stock has gone up 468% over the past decade.
Advertisements that run during the Super Bowl are memorable, but they are always expensive.
Yeah.
CNBC reports that streaming is making them more affordable. Ads for streaming simulcasts now make up 10% of the full ad inventory and cost half the price, because what you can do is you put on 30 seconds and say, go watch the full thing online.
Right. All right, let's get a look at your money at this moment. The Dow Futures up 111, that's 0.2%. S&P Futures up 12, that's about 0.2. NASDAQ Futures down 40, that's just shy of 0.2. Gold this morning up 144, we're back over $5,000 an ounce, $5,079.
It's time for Cougar Tracks, brought to you by Central Bank's CB Vault, Utah's help center for startups and entrepreneurs. Visit cbutah.com and learn more. Here's BYU insider Mitch Harper.
The 16th-ranked BYU basketball team looks to end a two-game losing streak tonight as they take on the Oklahoma State Cowboys in Stillwater. Could Kevin Young and his staff make a lineup change to get his team out of the current rut that they are in? It's a consideration for Coach Young.
Yeah, I think everything's on the table as far as considerations. So, we've analyzed it quite a bit. Like I said, everything's on the table. Gut feel, not going to make a lineup change. But, yes, in terms of analyzing it to that degree, yes, we've analyzed it to that degree.
BYU at Oklahoma State tips off tonight at 7 p.m. with pregame coverage beginning at 6, right here on KSL and the KSL News Radio app. With Cougar Tracks, I'm Mitch Harper, on your legacy home of the BYU Cougars, KSL News Radio.
Imagine opening your mailbox or checking your bank app and seeing a rent payment come in. Now imagine that rent payment helping fund your retirement. With a self-directed IRA at Central Bank, your retirement account may be able to invest beyond traditional stocks and mutual funds into alternative investments like real estate. It's a different way to think about retirement, not just how's the market doing, but how's my property performing? Because for so many investors, alternative investments can feel more tangible, something you can understand, manage, and build over time. Central Bank's self-directed IRA team can walk you through how it works, the rules, and what you need to consider so you can decide if it fits your goals. Central Bank's message is simple: turn rent checks into retirement. Learn more at cbutah.com. That's cbutah.com. Central Bank. Turn rent checks into retirement. Investments are not FDIC insured, not guaranteed, and may lose value. Central Bank deposits and certificate deposits are FDIC insured up to applicable amounts.
Are you looking to upgrade your home this year? Advanced Window Products is your local window and door manufacturer that sells direct to the public.
That's right, celebrating 40 years serving Utah since 1986. And right now, it's the New Year, New Window sale. Get $2,500 off when you buy 10 windows or more.
Our windows are made right here in Salt Lake City. Sales and installation are all in-house, meaning no middleman markups. You get the most affordable, high-quality custom windows in the state.
We build it, we install it, and we guarantee it for life.
Every window comes with a lifetime warranty, labor, glass, and parts included, serviced by our local team, and the warranty is transferable to the next homeowner.
Financing is available too. Save now, pay later, with payments as low as $150 a month.
Buy local and support the local economy. Don't wait. Buy 10 windows or more and get $2,500 off. Beat the rush and call today.
Call us at 801-850-9100. That's 801-850-9100. Or visit us at advancedwindows.com.
Who doesn't love winning? Right now, at ksl.com/win, you'll find exciting contests with prizes you actually want. Tickets, gift cards, and more. It's fast, it's free, and you can enter in just a few clicks. New contests are added all the time, so there's always another chance to win big. Don't miss out. Visit ksl.com/win today and enter to win. That's ksl.com/win.
5:59, traffic and weather together, brought to you by UCCU. Supercharge your savings at uccu.com. And back to you, Cormac.
Seems a lot of our delays have eased a little bit. The worst of it now down in Lehigh, going from Saratoga Springs into Lehigh on Corey B. Wright Highway, and northbound on Mountain View Corridor from Corey B. Wright Highway up to 2100 North. Got some light delays on 2100 North eastbound at 2300 West as you try to get onto the freeway. But again, pretty light so far this morning. Normal spotty slowdowns on Bangerter Highway through West Valley. I-15 still clean and clear through Utah and Salt Lake counties. Andy.
Southbound 15 still looking good as you're getting on the freeway anywhere from Brigham City to Ogden to Clearfield. Anywhere coming into downtown, there hasn't been any slowdowns in either direction of I-15 north of Salt Lake City. It's been a little bit heavy now near the Southgate to Hill Air Force Base, Hillfield Road, and SR 193, and still have some minor slowdowns on 5600 South near 1900 West in Roy. Two Brothers Mattress, with their lowest price guarantee, Two Brothers Mattress is your #1 choice for Tempur-Pedic mattresses. Visit twobrothersmattress.com.
Let's get a look at the weather forecast today. A lot like yesterday, but 55 for a high, so a little warmer. 56 tomorrow, 57 Friday, and we stay there through Sunday. We have a chance of rain to start off next week. Right now, though, 30 degrees downtown.
KSL FM Midvale.
KSL Salt Lake City.
From the KSL Common Spirit Health Studios, this is KSL News Radio.
Utah's news, traffic, and weather station.